The installation described is not compliant with the National Electrical Code. Specifically, NEC Section 215.19A3 requires that service entrance conductors be installed in a raceway from the point of attachment to the service drop or lateral to the service disconnecting means. In the scenario presented, the service entrance conductors are not installed in a raceway that adheres to this requirement. Instead, they are routed through a conduit system that originates at the load center, extends to the meter base, and then returns to the load center. This configuration deviates from the code's intent and therefore is not compliant. The correct method for installing service entrance conductors involves running them in a raceway, which can be conduit or another approved enclosure, directly from the point where the service drop or lateral connects to the building to the service disconnecting means, which is typically the main breaker in the load center. The service disconnecting means must be located at a readily accessible location nearest the point of entrance of the conductors, either inside or outside of a building or other structure. A raceway provides physical protection for the conductors and helps to contain any potential faults, ensuring safety and minimizing the risk of fire or electrical shock. Using separate flexible conduits for the line and load sides introduces potential hazards and does not meet the continuous raceway requirement. Service entrance conductors carry the full electrical load of the building and must be installed in a manner that provides maximum safety and reliability. The inspector's approval of this incorrect installation is concerning. Firstly, it is crucial to understand the purpose of NEC Section 215.19A3. It mandates a continuous raceway for service entrance conductors for several reasons. 1. Physical protection is paramount. The raceway safeguards the conductors from physical damage such as impacts, abrasion, and environmental factors. 2. Fault containment is essential. In the event of a short circuit or ground fault, the raceway helps contain the arc flash and limits the spread of fire. 3. Proper grounding is necessary. The raceway provides a path for grounding the electrical system, which is crucial for safety. Secondly, consider the implications of routing service entrance conductors through the load center to the meter base and back. This creates an unnecessary loop and introduces several potential points of failure. 1. Increased conduct length contributes to voltage drop and energy loss. 2. Additional connections and terminations increase the risk of loose connections, which can lead to overheating and arcing. 3. The unconventional routing complicates troubleshooting and maintenance. Thirdly, let's examine the correct installation procedure. 1. Determine the point of attachment for the service drop or lateral. 2. Select an appropriate raceway, such as rigid metal conduit, intermediate metal conduit, electrical metallic tubing, or rigid polyvinyl chloride conduit, based on environmental conditions and local regulations. 3. Install the raceway in a continuous run from the point of attachment to the service disconnecting means. 4. Ensure that the raceway is properly grounded and bonded according to NEC requirements. 5. Terminate the service entrance conductors at the service disconnecting means and the meter base. In the described scenario, the electrician ran the service entrance wire straight into the load center, then through the load center out to the meter base line side, and then from the meter base back to the main breaker in the load center. The line and load are in separate flexible conduits. This is a clear violation of the NEC. The inspector's approval does not make the installation compliant. It is the electrician's responsibility to adhere to the code and ensure the safety of the electrical system. Red flagging the installation was the correct action. The installation needs to be corrected to comply with the NEC. The service entrance conductors must be run in a continuous raceway from the point of attachment to the service disconnecting means. The load center is not a raceway and should not be used as such. The meter base is also not a raceway. The conductor should be terminated at the meter base and then run in a separate raceway to the service disconnecting means. Flexible conduit is not permitted for service entrance conductors unless specifically permitted by the NEC. In most cases, it is not permitted. The use of separate flexible conduits for the line and load sides is also a violation of the NEC. The conductors must be run in the same raceway. The incorrect installation can lead to several problems. Firstly, it can create a fire hazard. Secondly, it can cause voltage drop, which can damage equipment. Thirdly, it can make it difficult to troubleshoot the electrical system. Fourthly, it can void the homeowner's insurance. The correct installation is essential for safety and reliability. The electrician should consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector to ensure that the installation is compliant with the NEC. The homeowner should also contact the local electrical inspection authority to report the incorrect installation. It is important to remember that the NEC is a minimum standard. The electrician should always strive to exceed the minimum requirements of the code. The safety of the electrical system is the most important consideration. The use of approved materials and methods is essential for ensuring safety. The electrician should always follow the manufacturer's instructions for installing electrical equipment. The homeowner should also be aware of the dangers of electricity and should never attempt to perform electrical work unless they are qualified to do so. The incorrect installation in question is a serious violation of the NEC and should be corrected immediately. The homeowner should not use the electrical system until it has been inspected and approved by a qualified electrical inspector. The NEC is updated every 3 years. It is important for electricians to stay up to date on the latest code changes. The NEC is a complex document. Electricians should consult with a qualified electrical engineer or inspector if they have any questions about the code. The safety of the electrical system is the responsibility of the electrician. The electrician should always take the time to do the job right. The homeowner should also be aware of their rights. They have the right to a safe and reliable electrical system. If they have any concerns about the electrical system, they should contact a qualified electrician or electrical inspector. The installation is not code compliant due to the routing of service entrance conductors. Code requires a direct raceway. The existing install is a circuitous route and is not acceptable. Correct installation by running the service entrance conductors in a continuous raceway from the point of attachment to the service drop or lateral to the service disconnecting means. The service disconnecting means should then be installed in the load center.